And then you know, when the moon affects you, the moon affects the mind. When there's a full moon, then what happens to people in the madhouse?
They were cuckoo.
That's how you get local. The moon controls the mind. Now the moon controls the blood also. So when people have operations and on full moon, if you go to the hospital and do operations on full moon, more people die on an operating table. Why? Because more blood flow. You can check that with the hospital. So what happens now is when they do operation, the best time to do operation is on new moon.
Or he's a surgeon.
Oh, so you should know that. Yeah, but we have been doing it for thousands of years. And we knew that the new moon is where the blood is calm. And the full moon is when the blood is flowing. Am I right?
Yes.
So now, but I knew it from astrology. You knew it from medicine. But
I know from medicine people with tuberculosis of the lung, they bleed terribly in new moon.
on full moons.
I mean on full moon.
Yes.
You have to be prepared. I worked in a...
She worked in a hospital.
And we had to be prepared with the basins.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
they release
So
it.
on full moon, you're never good to do operations. And many people who I've advised, who are going to do full moon operations, came back and thanked me that they didn't do it. Because then the blood flows. Don't you think our doctors need to know this?
Of course.
But they ignore it. And then on a full moon also, it controls the mind. It makes the blood flow to the mind, so the mind gets more erratic and more worried and things like that. So you eat things that are going to calm the mind. In full moon, what calms the mind, believe it or not, is sugar. And sweet stuff calms the mind in full moon. It makes the blood calmer. Right? So,
I know that in like special schools for children with special needs, when they know there's a full moon, usually that day they have like an off day and they put the kids to bounce and do anything that's not academic, because usually on a day like that, all the kids are just upset.
yes. Yes, on a day like that, they're very, on full moon,
A
yes.
lot of schools are adopting that mentality, so they know on a full moon when it's coming, they know when it's coming, and they prepare
Yeah.
to do nice activities for the kids.
Well, technically they're doing what Hindus are doing. Actually, they're practicing Hinduism. Because in Hindu system of calendar, all the holidays are on full moon. So they never have a holiday at new moon mostly on full moon. Because they know that during full moon, that's when you need to pray, that's when you need to do have a feast and things like that. So they do it on full moon day.
They can go him, they go holistic.
Okay, but scientifically, and they lock up the people in the asylum, when their full moon is on. So the blood flows, the tides flow, and then also. But do you know that every one of us have a full moon in our life, our own full moon, which is when you have the menstrual cycle, right? Because that's whenever you have the menstrual cycle. The moon is actually right above your head, right? In your chart.
And when we like sweet stuff.
That's why Daddy eats sweet stuff, right? And that controls the flow of the menstrual cycle. So the moon really connects all of us. If you track the moon on a day-to-day basis, you'll find that your behavior is exactly like how we predict in our life code book. Yes. So we have a life code book that.
So some people say that it's hormones, but it's the planet.
But how can it be hormones without the moon's effect? I mean, you are in the effect. The hormones are moving according to the universe.
Right.
We're all connected, right? Which is what the guy in the movie I Am is showing. He gave up all his property and everything because he sold all his $1 million house and everything because he says we're all connected. So he's going to go live in a trailer. So the whole idea is that moon controls the way you think, the way you act, the way when you get worried, when you're thinking in your mind. So when we think that we are doing it, we're really not doing it, we are being influenced by the universe. Because we are influenced by the universe. We are not independent of the universe. You know, all of us act according to the sun and moon in our life. And then we have Mercury. And Mercury controls your knowledge, your education. You know, sometimes when you feel like you can't study, or you just can't read, or you can't write, it's because the Mercury is against you. And when Mercury is aligned properly with you, your absorption is so high. You can pass that exam like nothing.
Is there a way to align it if it's not aligned?
Yes, we pray the Saraswati. We do the Saraswati mantra. Right. Now, you might ask, how can a mantra help that? And you'll be surprised. Because remember now, you're dealing with vibrations. The planet is affecting you through a vibration. So because the planet affects your vibration, the mantra moves the planet. Do you realize that the earth is moving right now, slowly? It's moving. I'm not talking about the earth moving around the sun or turning. I am talking about the earthquakes and the tsunamis. The earth is moving slowly to the other side. But you know, look how gentle that this, you know, I'm feeling inspiration here. How gentle the earth is, the universe is with us. We're all the chickens on this earth, right? But look how gentle the earth is moving slowly back. It's creating a little bit of earthquake here, a little bit of tsunamis there, as it moves. If it made one big move, what would happen? We would all fall off. Yeah. But look at how gentle the universe is with us. That is handling us with such tenderness. That, okay, it's just moving slightly. A little rock here, a little tsunami here, a little earthquake here, and it's moving slowly to the other side, which is the time for it to move, which is 2012. So all that movie stuff, you know, is if the earth just moved. But it's not doing that. It's moving on a... But if I took a picture of it from 1989, is when it started, then I'll have a movie called 2012 movie, because then it will show destruction. If I took slow time pictures and put it all together, it will show that the earth move fast, right? And all these destruction happen. But we have to be thankful. We have to be appreciative that the universe is treating us so gently, and not making sure that God is making sure His children is not hurt in the process, as the earth tilts to the other side. And that's really what's happening. So when Mercury is aligned properly with you, now there are certain recommendations according to the Vedic life code, which pinpoints when to do exams and how to do exams properly. For example, if you're running a 90, your second answers are right in an exam. You have to know which day you run, you know, and according to the life code. If you're running a 6-day, you have to go over the question twice. And then so that there are certain ways you can overcome Mercury affecting you. But when Mercury is aligned, let's say you're not going to school, Mercury is in your favor, what happens? You meet somebody who gives you good advice. You meet somebody who will give you good advice in the market. Or when Mercury is in good standing with you, you'll suddenly feel a lot of inspiration to buy the lottery ticket. So a lot of things can happen when Mercury is in line with you. When Mercury is not aligned with you, you wouldn't take any exam, you wouldn't get inspired, you wouldn't be able to read, you know, like somebody complained, the boy doesn't like to read, doesn't Miguel like to read? Okay, but he wasn't doing that before, which means Mercury was not in line with him. So again, reading, educating, learning, and that's now responsible for your third eye again. Because why? Because the more knowledge you have, the more you will be able to see in your third eye. So knowledge is the key. The more knowledge you have, the more you'll be able to see in your third eye. The more creative you are, the more visualized you are. to see more. And so seeking knowledge is one of the greatest things to favor Mercury. And then we have Venus. We have this is a very important one. Venus seems to have a problem with everybody. It has to do with love. Venus is the planet that affects our life with love. Right? Now, one would say again, why is Venus affecting you in love life? But think of it this way. We are this tiny little human in this whole universe. The universe is so big and we are this little tiny dust. The solar system is like a dot in the universe. And we are a tiny part of that dot. So then again, how big is our problem? Much tinier than that. But how fast we can get affected by the planets if they are so big compared to us. So when you are born, the timing, astrology is not what you think astrology is in the West. Yeah. It's not an entertainment. Neither is it a magic subject. It's very truly an astronomical science. It is very true astronomy. If every doctor knows astronomy, they will be able to cure their patients faster. Yes, if they should know that, right? And then they, huh? And they'll cure themselves first, of course, yes. Okay. So if everybody should know that astronomy, and don't call it astrology as it's a magic subject. So what happens now is Venus affects your love life. So when Venus is in your head, like her, it means that you will always have love in your life. Love and everyone. I say he's stuck. But Venus means that you'll always bring a happy love life, a happy married life and everything. To be born with Venus in your head is one of the most nice things. So you find people born between 9:30 and 11:30 are going to always have good love life in some way. And so what happens now is that Venus controls the way divorces, separation, love life, in terms of who you marry, how happy you are with love life. And so when Venus is against you, you get divorced, you become problems in love life. Now, a lot of that is inherited from the parents, because depending on the condition of the parents, how they were loving and how they treated each other in love life and everything, will be transferred to the children. So when the children were loving at that time, when the parents were loving at that time, the children would be very loving, they would inherit the love and so on. So Venus really is regarded as a planet that gives you love life and love problem. Now, very simple. Venus is known as the goddess of love, or the god of love, and Mars is known as the god of war. Right? That's the next one.